The Afterparty. This is the latest series to come to Apple TV+. You guys know I'm a big fan of Apple TV. It's my favorite streaming service. It's also the latest in a long line of ongoing Whodunnit stories. For some reason, I don't understand why this is happening, but the Whodunnit is getting back in a big way. It's probably Knives Out. Death of the Nile just came out. Now we got the Afterparty here. More are coming. Obviously more are coming. But I love a good Whodunnit. Like, it's such a fun story concept. And the fact that we have a streaming service where we can flesh out this narrative, it works really well. It's such a cool concept. And this season was really cool. It's from Lord and Miller. They're a great pair. They know how to produce some great stuff. And I think Chris really took the lead here because he directed and kind of like came up with the idea. It shows because this is, I feel like, just a little bit on like the verge of Last Man on Earth, which again was their stuff. And that's a little more like the tone it's going for. I really liked this show. I thought the jokes landed. I thought the character arcs landed. I thought the narrative structure landed. Everything about this show that needed to work and just become something special, I think it did great. So what is the Afterparty? Well, Dave Franco is this superstar celebrity named Xavier. He comes back to his old high school reunion. He's like, I'm going to have a party at my place after the reunion. All you cool kids can come over and hang out. And then he winds up dead. And the idea of this show is, in comes Tiffany Haddish, the talented, beautiful, lovely Tiffany Haddish. And she's like, I'm going to investigate all you people. You tell me your stories. We're going to dedicate one episode of our 8-episode structure to your event and how you perceived things. Let's go. It's brilliant. It's such a good structure. And I think a lot of that comes just from the writing, obviously, because the writing is brilliant. But just the cast. The cast is so strong in this show. Everybody does a fantastic job. You know, Eliza Glazer is so good in this. So fun to see. Somebody who is a fan of Ben Schwartz, if you love his style, I think this is the best Ben Schwartz we're getting in a while. It's just him personified perfectly in a role that works for him. But if you're like me, and you have watched Veep and Detroiters, you are a fan of Sam Richardson. And finally, I feel like he's getting that big shot here. I know it's a streaming service. He's had a lot of big shots. I shouldn't say a lot of big shots. He had Detroiters. It worked for him. It didn't go far. Oh, it's so good to see him. I love Sam Richardson. He's one of the most talented guys out there just because he perfectly plays this role so well. Just like this awkward guy who can stumble his way out of a conversation or into a conversation. There's a different type of confidence we see here than some other roles he does. And it's so fun. It's so charming. And his chemistry with Ben is like really good. They are such a good like pair because one's over the top, one's calm. It works so well, and it's so great to see. Tiffany Haddish too. She's doing some great stuff here. She's just in a different role. It's very Tiffany Haddish, but it's like a little more mature, a little more reserved. She's able to go to some interesting areas and try new things. And I think that's a really cool thing just to see her do. And there is a second season of the show coming. Tiffany Haddish is the only cast member returning, I do believe. I understand it, because why else would you have these people? The murder was already, done. It's resolved. We don't need them again. I really like that. The cast is fantastic. Everybody does it great. The actor playing Walt, in particular, is the perfect kind of neurotic awkward that I 100% believe is somebody who still like lives in like that high school persona. It is such a good performance from him. I love them all. I think they're all really cool, all very fun. They're doing some great stuff there. But to me, just like seeing the actual like structure of how this plays out, we see everybody's different event. I know calling it like Rashomon's the wrong thing, but that's like the most prominent of this style, I do believe. Where it's like, here's the events from different perspectives. The way they do the perspectives, I think, works really well. Because every character does it in the style that their character would perceive it. Anik's is a rom-com, Brett's is an action movie. Jasper's is a musical, Chloe's is animated, or Zoe's is animated, I should say. Everybody's doing it in a beautiful way. I think that is such a cool thing to see. And it's a really smart murder, too. Like, okay, the murder itself, pretty easy murder. I'm not going to get into what happened there, but the way that Danner, who is Tiffany Haddish, solves the case, it's actually a pretty smart way it goes. Like, you see the dynamics of how she's building off of other things to put them in a certain way to make it work. That's cool, and I'm not going to toot my own horn here. But I did figure out who the killer was by episode 5. I don't know why I said that. I'm just like, hey, I kind of figured it out. I think that was really cool. Such a solid show. everything just worked well. The jokes all landed, which is really surprising, especially in a show where you're going to be repeating the same jokes over and over again, but from like a new perspective. The fact that each time we saw these characters in a different light, they still felt fresh and organic and real. I thought that was really cool. Just like even the fake movies where they put Dave Franco in because his character is like an action movie star, like the Hungry Hippos thing. Oh, the Hall & Oates one, I lost my mind because it was so freaking hilarious. Just Channing Tatum and Dave Franco pretending to be Hall & Oates. Such a good bit, and it worked so well. There's even an episode halfway through that's more dedicated to the backstory for Tiffany Haddish's character. And normally I'd be like, this isn't necessary. We get it, you know, we don't have to do this with like Poirot, but I think it worked. It was very fun to see her in a different light. And I'm just so impressed with what the show did. And I shouldn't be impressed because you got talented writers, talented directors, talented creators, talented actors, all making something special that's such an easy, you know, just like win. It felt so organic and cool. I really just liked everything about this. It was so fun and fresh. The finale was fantastic. The characters were cool, and I love Sam Richardson so much. I liked seeing him in this role. Everything about the after party just stuck the landing. It did something unique and fun, and I highly recommend checking it out. I think now that every episode is out, it's an easy binge. Just because you're like, okay, you can get the basis of the story from the first episode, and then if you want to, you know, miss key points from maybe a certain episode you don't want to see, it's like, okay, you can go to the one with the character you're more interested in. But I think everybody does a great job, and this show surprised me in more ways than I was expecting. I thought I was just going to have a couple of laughs. I didn't think I'd be engrossed in the characters' lives as much as I was, and I think a lot of that has to do with Chris Miller just knowing what to do behind the scenes to make this special. So I love this show. I cannot wait for season 2. I don't know what they're going to do, but it could be cool. So, The After Party, season number 1, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.